Welcome to another live. This is day 4 out of the 5-day series. My name is Matt Wiss. I'm the co-founder at Emailtize, where we help B2B companies build demand generating services so they don't have to rely on referrals only. They can build their own system to reach potential clients and bring on more opportunities into their pipeline. Over the last few days, we spoke about various topics. Let me share my screen here so you can see it as well. We spoke on Monday. We spoke about building a list of potential clients. That means finding out what's the total addressable market audience for you, so that you can build the infrastructure to reach these people, these decision makers over next weeks to come, and also building the Dream 100 list, which is essentially your ideal clients that you know you can bring value to, and you can do more of account-based marketing. That means you'll reach them on multiple platforms and focus on those prospects more than on the rest. On day 2, we were talking about the actual outbound infrastructure, why you shouldn't be sending emails from your main domain, why it can bring several hazards, I guess, and risk to your company and business. You don't want to do that. And the rules are changing. The infrastructure is becoming more and more complicated and very time consuming at times. But if done correctly, something, as you know, takes a little bit of time. It's not that easy. That means usually that it's going to work well. And that's what we talk about on day 2. Day 3, we talk about creating authority building and trust earning content. Every time someone responds to your emails, or someone gets your email, or someone sees your ad on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or they see your content or your company somewhere, even at expos, for example, they will start looking you up. They'll Google it or ChatGPT, or they'll look you up on LinkedIn. We want to make sure that when they do that, they find valuable information, something that they can leave with. For example, lead magnet, what we call in the marketing jargon, which is something valuable for your audience, something that they can grab in exchange for email, maybe phone number, and something that can pretty much immediately add value to their business, so that they start getting value from you for free. And when the time comes and they have money to spend and they're looking for a vendor, you're going to be the top of the mind solution for that. And today we're going to talk about LinkedIn outreach. And the sequence is done in that matter for a reason. When you start building an outbound infrastructure and that's new to you, it's going to take several weeks to do that. But what you can do immediately is pretty much within 24 hours, you can build a list of potential clients. Maybe 2 days, you should get some thoughts around it. Who do you actually try to help? Verification process and all that, cleaning the list takes time. But once you have that list, you can pretty much immediately start doing outreach on LinkedIn, which is probably the biggest, if not the biggest, B2B platform. Even though when it comes to running ads, probably Mark Zuckerberg's platforms are still the best, because that's where we hang out in our free time, and that's where you can reach your potential clients still in any industry, from startups to billion-dollar phases. But yes, what to do when we have that list? First things, obviously, I would focus on the Dream 100 prospects instead of the entire list. So let's say your total addressable market audience, that means your potential clients that you're trying to reach over the next couple of months, is let's say 5,000 people. Sending connection requests to 5,000 people will take you months, and it's not something that obviously will bring huge success, mainly because most of the people that you have on the list, I guarantee you, are probably 90% of them are not active on LinkedIn. So by the time they open LinkedIn, it's not going to work. So there's 2 ways you can go about that. One, you can actually use Sales Navigator for it as well. Sales Navigator has filters that shows people that were active in a certain amount of time, or you can focus on the Dream 100 prospects. So that means that they have usually LinkedIn company profile, they have personal profiles, maybe multiple decision makers, maybe they're executives or a person that is dedicated to your solution within that company, a director, a VP of XYZ. So you want to have even multiple people on that within that company. And if you focus on that, there's no chance they're gonna miss you and hearing from you about your company. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. So if you focus on that, it's going to be easier, because you can technically send out 100 to 200 connection requests per week according to LinkedIn standards. So that's not going to take you a long time to do. Obviously, you should get about 10 to 15% of them accepted. And also, one thing I have to mention here, that if you have your LinkedIn profile set up so that it speaks to that Dream 100 clients or list immediately, to that industry, that audience immediately, and there's a much higher chance for them to essentially accept your connection request. And also, if you have content there, which we covered yesterday, then obviously that's going to be even better because they can immediately see, all right, they can see or feel your personality. They can see that you're legit. They can see some case studies, et cetera, et cetera. So when you start doing this, it's essentially starting relevant. What outbound is, especially LinkedIn, is starting relevant conversations with the right people, avoiding adding. I'm sorry, avoiding. You don't want to avoid that. Adding value before asking for anything, being genuinely helpful and obviously human. Probably the biggest challenge in 2025. Have AI that can do everything and anything and whatever you want, and you have even AI avatars on LinkedIn. That means you're actually not speaking to the right person. I'm sorry, with human being an AI, an avatar, whatever you want to call it. So that might be challenging. Following up thoughtfully and appropriately, that's one of the things. What Alma is not is obviously spamming someone with generic pitches. And here I have an example in mind. Wish I could take a picture, screenshot of it and paste it here, but obviously I don't want to go that route. But a lot of times, even in the comment section, sometimes I see a pretty much hardcore pitch, not even an elevator pitch, like a full blown pitch that ends with almost like your email signature. There's your name, your company name, your address, your phone number, your email address, a motivational quote, maybe something else with that you usually have in small print on your email in your email signature, and that's just copy and paste. It's one thing that actually, when you do that, one thing that is almost guaranteed is that that person, if you have that 0.01% chance or luck, you might be in the right place, in the right inbox, the right time, and that person is actually looking for your services. So there is a chance for that. But I almost guarantee you that it's getting responses for that. It's going to be very difficult because it's pretty much a one-way conversation here. It's not even a conversation. It's something that will not help you build a relationship with you. Going straight for the meeting with the first message, or maybe even with a follow-up, if someone has not responded to you, that's not a common practice anymore. It used to work. It can work if you're really, really, if you have a list that you know exactly who you're trying to reach, and it's a very, very, very small list, and maybe for those a meeting might make sense. Or they already know you. That usually is an opportunity for sure. If you met them at the expo, you can go straight for a meeting here. And obviously, using automation, that might mean LinkedIn jail, which I hope you're not going to land in. LinkedIn jail can happen because of multiple reasons. One of them will be an automation. So if you're sending way too many throughout an automation, way too many connection requests, when you're sending too many messages, when you're liking too many posts, or where you're just copy and pasting stuff, this might cause a red flag in the algorithm, and they might essentially, that might not work really well. And I actually ask ChatGPT to spend some time here and go through. Yeah, actually, where is it? There it is. It spent 7 minutes thinking what is the purpose of a LinkedIn direct message after connecting with you. First thing that it gave me is to build a relationship, send out, and you remember that's usually for the follow up. Start a conversation for opportunities and hopefully mutual opportunities. Focus on value, not a sales pitch. If AI thought about it for 7 minutes, we should give it a thought as well, right? And some examples that it gave me here or framework, 3-part first message, mention something specific, the role, company, or a post, recent post, show interest. For me, the recent post is a challenging one because most of the people that are trying to build a relationship with don't post. So that might be challenging, but the role and company, absolutely relevant. Show interest without flattery or fluff. Ask a light question or open the door for conversation. Here are some examples. Thanks for connecting. So you've been leading company for over X years. That kind of consistency in industry is rare these days. This can be relevant, for example, for renewable energy space, because I know for a fact, I know at least 6 companies that went out of business over the last 3 years in that space. Big companies, being one of those publicly traded companies. So it's very uncommon to see companies that have been operating for many, many years in that space. Out of curiosity, what's been the biggest shift you've seen in the industry lately? Again, this will spark a lot of conversation, depends on your industry, your challenge. Good to connect. Many CEOs I speak with say referrals have been their main growth channel, but they're now looking to add at LinkedIn to bring in new clients. That has been the same. Has that been the same in your experience? To start with a question like this, I appreciate the connection. I notice companies doing work in specific niche product. What originally led you to focus on that space? Always interested to hear the story behind this decision. I like stories, and this is probably one of the first questions I ask on my podcast. So yeah, that's definitely a good question. Also, what I like to do, and AI did it right here, is that when you connect with someone, your profile might be optimized, might not be optimized for everyone. Obviously, can personalize it based on person yet. But what I like to do is also tell that person what I'm posting about or I'm educating about, what I'm actively growing, something that is obviously not a pitch, but something that can lead to value. So if there's this book called Power versus Force from David Hawkins, big fan of his books, and power versus force applies to your language as well, to your copy as well, to your marketing as well. So instead of saying, here is a resource, right away, unless you know this might be relevant, which is our next example here. You can say, if this would be helpful, so this is what I specialize in, this is what I'm really good at, this is what I post about every single day or 5 times or 3 times a week. If this is helpful for you at the moment, I don't know if it is, I might be able to help share resources, or I can share resources on XYZ. So that way you're asking with the question what they're specialized in, what they're currently working on, and this is relevant because so many times I've connected with someone and that person is no longer in that role if they didn't update it. Their experience on LinkedIn, they are perhaps exiting or they exited. There's so many different there's so many different things that happen in our life. And obviously changing your LinkedIn description is not the first thing you're going to do, especially after an exit, I guess. So you want to make sure that you find out what are you currently working on? Are there any challenges? And surprisingly, that usually leads the next response that I get is, hey, why don't we get on a call and chat about that? Because that might be relevant to them as well. So that has been working for me. I'm just sharing what has worked for me. Might be as well working for you. Connection request. So this is a sequence here, and we've been using in a large HVAC company as an example for this whole document. So we'll stick to that. Um, Connection request. This is an example. Hi, name. I notice you're leading facilities at XYZ. I work with similar organizations on HVAC's efficiency. Would love to connect. This is specific, extremely specific. I like to keep it blank in many cases because, again, I feel like that somehow, I don't know if this is psychological or what is it or algorithm based. Usually, leaving it blank gives you a higher acceptance rate. And that assuming your LinkedIn profile and bio picture banner is optimized. People still check you out, obviously, before they accept the connection request, but they can also see a little bit about you. So the message, if it's relevant, absolutely use the connection request message. But I also have noticed that you have to have premium to use it. So it's limited. It wasn't limited before. I don't know what LinkedIn is planning to do there, but yeah, that's the thing. Thanks for connecting. This could be your first value first DM. Thanks for connecting. As a role, I can imagine deal with problem to explain what the problem could be. I thought you might find this case study interesting. We help similar company. You can name the company if you can. Reduce their energy costs by 32% across 15 locations. You don't have to share the link right away. You can be, if it's useful, for example, if it's helpful or useful, here's the link. I'm sorry, I actually had it. I actually had to read it. If, let's say, if it's helpful, I can share the link here. Find out if there's interest. Obviously, um, us marketers who like to test stuff, so you might be testing different case studies. But sharing a case study is usually a good idea because we love seeing we love seeing and when someone accomplishes something. Let me put it in words. Now my Polish brain kicked in, so I don't know why, out of nowhere. So let's say we see someone, a company that is in the same industry, same spot as you are, and have accomplished something. In this case, energy cost by 32%, which is obviously significant savings and can allow them to grow. Obviously, if might equal tens of thousands of dollars every single month. So if you see someone else doing this, you want to do the same thing. So why wouldn't you check out what they do and be a little bit selfish here and find out if you can do this just by yourself, right? A case study should be very descriptive and very much a step-by-step guide, a blueprint, if you will, to help someone accomplish something. So that's a good way to do it. Usually you can send a follow-up within 3, 4, 5 days, checking in if that resource was helpful. Obviously, if they haven't responded, most likely they haven't read it yet. So everyone's busy. Follow-up is absolutely a necessity. I mean, I've closed several deals where I have follow up 7 or 8 months later, and it was a better time, or even a year later, it was a better time for us to partner up and work on some projects together. So I can also continue asking some questions, but obviously not in every message. And yeah, try to have a conversation with someone. You can. There's a tool I'm not a big fan of. Like I said, I'm a fan. The automations make sense because they save you a lot of time, but they might cause red flags. But what is really useful here when you are getting a lot of messages or when you want to make sure you don't miss a follow up, this is a platform called Condo that is just like Superhuman, but for LinkedIn. This comes from Superhuman co-founder, Guara Vora. I hope I pronounced it correctly. If you don't know what Superhuman is, I believe they just got acquired 50 million. Oh, I say teams. I thought 50 million users. They got acquired by Grammarly, from what I'm hearing. And the platform, it's like a software that connects with your inbox, and it simplifies the whole thing. You have shortcuts. It automatically applies labels. It helps you with reminders. It helps you to keep the important stuff from the spam marketing pitches, what have you. You can exchange comments between your team, and if instead of sending back and forth emails, uh, you can you can do so much with it. I mean, I love it. I probably use it for like a good year, and I'm still finding out all the new features or features that I didn't know they exist. So Superhuman is absolutely powerful, and Condo is just like Superhuman, but for LinkedIn. So you can, it's much faster. The biggest thing for me, the biggest win here was the fact that it's so much faster. I was able to follow up with people that I've been connected with for 3 years, 4 years, and I haven't essentially messaged them because you can't just scroll through LinkedIn inbox. It's absolutely madness, as almonds would say. So it simplifies the whole thing. And again, you can set up reminders. You can have your templates if you want, but obviously you don't want to copy and paste every message, but you want to personalize it. Ideally, every time you message someone. But again, it will help you do the same work two times. Actually, this should be like 4 or 5 times because again, using LinkedIn inbox, it's a disaster. You can scroll through it. On mobile, maybe it's a little bit better, but overall, it's just not good. So that's what you do. Again, what you can do. There are some benchmarks. They will vary based on industry, but usually what I've seen is 15% acceptance rate. It's pretty good, not too good. I mean, not incredibly good or not horrible either. So that means you are sending seven, or if my math is mathing, 7 connection requests, you get accepted to one of them. So that's pretty good. You can start a conversation. That's pretty powerful, and we should honor that. First message response rate, 20%, maybe even that 20% would be pretty good, I would say. And then meeting conversion rate, out of those responses, you should book, one every 8, 6, maybe every 10 leads that you speak with. Again, that will be dependent on how good the list is, how urgent the problem is that they're experiencing. Maybe you're solving a problem in the industry that no one else has solved yet. So the market sophistication level is different than something that is super saturated, and you would be just another vendor. So that will vary, but those are just benchmarks for you to consider. And that's what I have for you for today. Actually, no. Down below this, in the description of this post, of this live stream, there's a link to my newsletter where you can grab, and I can send you right away 5 prompts that might be really helpful here, plus the entire document if you want to go at your own pace. And in here, you can find some prompts that might be useful. Why? Because most of the people I speak with, they don't really think about, for example, uploading a Google Sheet list with your Dream 100 clients. Also, they don't transcribe their calls and upload it to their AI. And that will give you a much better response on how to personalize these messages for your outbound, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's email, or maybe help you even improve your next sales goal or your team's next sales goal. And just remember one more platform that I should mention here, shout out Udly, that allows you to practice, whether here cold role play, presentation role play. It's your AI role play partner and friend, because it gives you so many different useful feedbacks on your deliverability. I'm sorry, delivery, speed delivery, your context, and everything else. And it actually, if you set it up correctly, it can give you objections that you hear on your calls, and you have the same feeling as you would talk to actual prospects. It's pretty cool. Check it out, and I look forward to hearing your feedback. What are we going to talk about tomorrow, last day, Friday? We're going to talk about personalization with AI, launching your campaigns, how that looks like, how you can leverage AI, which I just shared with you the pretty big prompt here that you can use, some other tools that might be helpful here, and what are the benchmarks as far as your campaigns, how to optimize your campaigns, and how can you send messages, emails, actually book meetings and grow your pipeline that you probably see all over the place. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I look forward to that. Thank you so much for your attention and enjoy your evening.